Dave, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having
I'm
me.
happy you're here.
I'm happy to be here too.
I haven't seen your face in so long. It's nice
I
to be
know.
face to face. I actually recently decided I don't want to podcast anymore on
So I'm glad I'm here.
Zoom. No,
Oh, got
only
it.
IRL.
Good.
I've decided because it's so much better.
It is. And it's nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too. Like, don't you think that it's so much better to be in person?
I think in many scenarios it's better to be in person.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that at work it's better to be in person?
I don't know if it's better. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's definitely different. You can have different conversations, more engaged conversations in person, less
Yes.
distractions.
Yeah.
But in my role now, it's global. So a lot of my team is in other markets. So Zoom is our best mode.
Yeah.
And you just have to make sure you spend the time right.
Yeah.
You don't waste time.
Yeah. Do you think that you will do a tour de globe to meet your team in person?
Yeah. Well, I've met a lot of them already.
Okay.
I was in London 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
We brought our EMEA teams together.
Nice.
I just planned a week in February to go back over to EMEA and meet with people again.
In London?
London, Germany, Paris. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay. So you just took this new role.
I did 4 months.
Nice.
4 months tomorrow.
And how do you feel about it? I mean, it's a big, different shift. And yeah, I mean, it's like, tell me a little bit about it, because it's like consumer products. Like
It is.
that's like a totally different world. Like, what is that world like?
Totally different world. Consumer products, Shark Ninja.
Yeah.
What's really fascinating about the company is they've been around for a while.
Yeah.
And they really ground themselves around product innovation and technology and innovation. And we're big on innovation, bringing new products to market, bringing new products into new categories, which I think of the 37 categories we're in, I would say almost half we started.
Really?
Which is fascinating.
Like
There's a lot
what?
of great history. Some of our beauty products
Yeah.
were net new in the innovation. We have some coming out in the new year, so stay tuned for those.
Okay. I know you guys just launched this really intense
Facial Pro
face.
Glow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which looks awesome.
and it's really the first of its kind. It's
Okay.
a at-home facial machine. So pretty cool. So the roles, it's very similar to what I've done my entire career in terms of media. The way we operate as a business is very different than anything I've ever worked within. And honestly, I love it. I'm energized by it.
Yeah.
It moves fast. We make decisions daily. And what's beautiful about it is when you go into a room with your colleagues,
Yeah.
you know that everyone's in there to win. And so you were starting from the same goal, which
That's
is super
cool.
fascinating,
Yeah.
which my prior role was not like that as
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
or at all.
Right.
Like
Like more of a risk taking appetite, I guess.
in my prior,
No, here.
Here.
Like a builder, risk taker. Let's
definitely,
yeah.
definitely. And we have a philosophy of progress over perfection. And so you don't have to have it completely figured out. Let's
Yeah.
try things. Let's test and learn. And we
Yeah.
do that daily.
That's awesome.
Over the holiday weekend, we
Yeah, go ahead.
had a lot of it. We were testing, learning hourly. And it's fun. It's really
I
fun.
imagine that they like, and I'm not sure, but I'd be interested to know, like, there's a like fast to market, but then also like if something's not working, is there like a fast to kill? So there's like a high risk appetite, but also like we're not going to we're not going to throw good money after bad.
Yeah. I mean, it is all about, first and foremost, all of product innovation is based on consumer insights, a consumer need. And so I think there's a true grounding in what will work because it will solve a consumer need. And that's been the success of the company. But we are a move fast.
Yeah.
If it's not working, pivot.
Yeah.
Still not working, let's figure out what next steps are.
Well, how do you get the consumer insight to know that like this category first product that's never been out before is going to work and it's a need in the market?
I'm sure there's a ton of ways. We have a pretty in-depth consumer insights group that does a lot of the evaluation. We look at social comments and what people are asking for across reviews and whatnot. That's really where we get a lot of insights on product pivots too.
Yeah.
And if you think about like products that you have in your household. I'm
Yeah.
sure a lot of them you just have because you grew up having something similar, or you were at the store, you're like, this is cool.
Yeah.
It's all rooted in this idea of like, it's going to solve a consumer need. It's going to make
Yeah.
us more efficient or better, or, like save time.
Or hotter.
Yeah. Or hotter. Uh-huh. Exactly. I know what I'm getting you for Christmas. You don't need it, but I'll get it for you.
It's all of my things that I use are like rooted in like, which is interesting. The way I search for things now is I don't really trust like open platforms anymore. So now I only trust curated things. So either an influencer that I follow or like a writer at like Vogue or something. And I want to find like, okay, the best way to make your face brighter, or the best like anti-aging creams, or the best like red light therapy masks or whatever. But I want somebody who's like gone through, you know what I mean? Because otherwise it's like you don't know what you're getting. So like
that's a lot of what we do too.
Yeah.
That's our model of bringing influencers forward and having them test our products.
Cool.
And see if they're willing to talk about it.
Yeah.
Which, if you're in the social ecosystem, you see that a lot of them do.
Yeah. And you kind of have to be, a little bit of an internet gremlin.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, like there's these trends that happen. So, like if you live in the TikTok world, like there's just like all these trends that start to emerge, and then like everyone starts talking about it, and it reaches this tipping point, and then it's like, and it's not even real world, because like then you talk about it to other people and they're like that aren't on TikTok, and they're like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Same thing with Instagram. Like there's little trends that pop up so it's like you kind of have to like there's so much that comes from the consumer now,
And they're really leading the way.
Yeah.
I think that's what's really exciting about our industry is it's less about what marketers want to tell consumers to believe. It's more of what consumers want to believe and help tell their peers, their colleagues to believe. But I mean, our business is really rooted in social and virality. Yeah. And we have an incredibly robust social team from start to finish that is led by one of my peers, and she's incredible.
That's awesome.
But it is part of our secret sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you took this new role. It's a pivot, obviously. Like how have you thought about starting and like starting over, and like how does that feel? Is it scary? Is it exciting? Is it like, how have your last 4 months been?
It's a lot of questions.
Sorry.
So I think there's always a scariness to it, but there's an excitement factor along with it. If I look at my recent pivots or trajectory, it has been from a very different scenarios and situations. And I was coming out of something that was very dark and dehumanizing. And so going into anything new is a little scary because you don't know what you're going to get. Totally. And it really is hard to assess a lot of that at face value.
Yeah.
And so you go in with hopefully an open mind. I do. I mean, I'm an optimist by nature.
Yeah.
And so I go into situations and I want the best. I hope for the best. I did a lot more research.
You're also very resilient.
You have to be. But yes, I mean, that's stems from life.
Yeah.
But I went into this role with an open mind. The team I met with prior to joining was very transparent on the pace, the expectations. And I had multiple conversations prior to starting just to make sure I got the same people and personalities before joining, because I mean, that was just something that I learned in my last scenario. So it's been great. Yeah, it has been. I mean, joining in August, leading into the holiday period, it's a lot. Yeah, it's pretty intense. Yeah. But I have an incredible team.
Cool.
My peers are great. It's a lot of smart people. And again, we just go into a room and the idea is to win.
That's great.
And when you have that foundation, it makes decision-making much easier. You know where people are focused on and where they're coming from. There's no personal interest, ulterior motives, maybe a little bit, but certainly it's to drive business. And it's been really fun.
That's awesome. Sometimes it's like vibes matter the most.
100%. Vibes matter. And, when you don't feel that, you have to start asking yourself some questions on what's your threshold of being able to sustain being part of an environment that doesn't really suit who you are or your integrity. And sometimes, for me personally, I didn't make the change when I should have made the change, and I let myself slip into it a little too much.
Yeah.
And it, I reflect on that quite often, and it changes your view in a lot of ways. And, you have to put your guard up a little more, because I lost sight of a few things that were personal to me, or my self-worth.
Yeah.
And what am I doing here?
Yeah.
And why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Because we're not actually here to win or to drive business. We're here to play the game.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not my motivation.
Yeah, I get that. It's like, also, you spend so much time at work. To spend that much of your time in a situation in which you're not like thriving or happy or like joyous, or with other people that are joyous. That's the other thing too. It goes back to vibes. It's like, you want to be in a good vibe.
Yeah.
And
I've worked with, throughout my entire career, a lot of really great people. A lot of people I still talk to today.
Yeah.
Many of them actually. And even in terrible situations or really dark situations, there's good people.
Of course.
And I think
that you trauma bond with.
Yes. And
you're like, well, we've gone through this together. I guess we're friends for life.
We're survivors.
We're survivors.
But it made me realize that I'm putting energy in some of the wrong things. And even knowing I should have made a pivot sooner.
Yeah.
I started putting my energy into helping those that I knew were being impacted in the same way.
Yeah.
And one, just giving them some safety and or some support.
Yeah.
Because everyone's situation is different, and everyone's acceptance of how they're treated or managed is very different. And their appetite for it is very different. And their ability to be resilient is very different. And so I know that. And I think as a leader, you have to spot those opportunities to help people.
Yeah.
Can't make decisions for them, obviously, but you can certainly help guide them or mentor them and make sure that they feel supported and or they have the right type of feedback that's going to make them better.
So optimism, resilience. What other like things do you live by? What's a value that is like very Dave that you're like?
Is dad jokes a value? I would say professionally, curiosity.
Okay.
And it's really what's driven my career mostly is always trying to understand the why or the what. And you lose sight of that sometimes, especially earlier in my career when there was a little more arrogance and probably too much confidence or sometimes not enough confidence.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? Like you think you know everything when you're in your 20s and then you look back and you're like, oh, I literally know nothing now. I definitely knew nothing then.
And I sure told people I did.
Right.
It is funny to look back. Well, one thing I do pride myself on is high EQ.
Yeah.
And I'm very self-aware.
Yeah.
I know probably not 100% of where I need to work, like what I need to work on or what some of my deficiencies are. But I'm very open to hearing about it. And I do think my earlier self, my younger self, wouldn't have been as open to hearing those things.
You know what's interesting though about feedback is that it's like, it's so helpful when you get feedback and you can kind of look at it in a macro sense of like, oh shit, like perhaps it was me the last 3 bosses that I've had or the last 10 times I've fucked up at work or whatever. But then sometimes you get feedback of one that isn't right and doesn't sit right with you. And you're like, oh wait, that's that person. And I feel like
It's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
But and like, because you know yourself now, because you're older, you know yourself, you know who you are as a leader. You're like, actually, that's not me.
Yeah. It's where my empathetic nature and optimism comes in, only because when situations happen, whether it's feedback or you're just somehow brought into this internal political scenario, I have to tell myself it's probably more on the other person than it is on you.
For sure.
And then I go into this, this like Papa Bear mode where it's like, well, I really want to uncover why. And what have they gone through to get them here? Even though it's like, that should not be my focus, but I care and I want to know because I do think that helps you understand how to work and relate to these people, but
it's back to your curiosity thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm curious about you. I'm curious about the people. And that's probably what makes you a good leader.
I hope it is.
Yeah.
I hope it is.
Yeah.
I've been building my team. I think we're pretty set at this point at Shark Ninja, and it's such a great group of people.
That's awesome.
And we have a great working relationship where we know each other enough.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still fairly new, right? We're getting to know each other, but there's a lot of trust already built in, which is really powerful.
That's great.
Yeah.
What do people not know about Dave when they look at your LinkedIn or your professional history?
I mean, honestly, I'm a pretty open book, transparent person. I think what people wouldn't know is how much work I've put in to get to this place. Certainly had a very different upbringing and childhood. My father was always there, always very supportive. We weren't we weren't wealthy at all, in fact. And so it was kind of, creating my own destiny, my own path. And what I had to go through to get there. And not that it was anything monumentous, but I think even starting with college, where I think as a family, it wasn't really you have to go. And when I decided I was going to go, I was asked why.
Yeah, me too.
And I thought that was really interesting. Back then I was like, well, because my friends are going. And I think that's what I'm supposed to do in life is go to college.
But you kind of carved your own pathway. Like
I did.
And you kind of had to lone wolf it a little bit, right? It's like...
And I've kind of felt a little lone wolf / independent a lot of my adult life, even earlier growing up, just through family dynamics that you have to. And I think to a degree it's shaped who I am, but to a degree it's prevented me from realizing my full self early on, because you do look out for yourself, and what you've built is yours to destroy or make better, right?
Yeah. No, I have a very similar background. Like I remember telling my dad I was going to go to college, and he was like, "Why?" And
Same.
like but like look where we are now. So sometimes I'm like, I think about that, and I'm like, oh, you can kind of like, that is one of the great things about life, is you can kind of like build your own pathway.
Yeah.
And a lot of those things that you built up that maybe have limited you in some way, and I'm saying this to myself too, like I built them up out of survival, and they've made me super successful in who I am today.
Yep.
And yes, they've held me back too, right? Like those can both be true.
It is. And I think knowing that it's held you back is a bit of self-awareness, right?
Right.
Because you know why it's held you back and what you can do to stop that.
Right.
When I reflect back on my career, I mean, I've been in advertising and media the majority of my career. I actually went to school for architecture.
Really?
Initially.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, for the first 2 years. And then, college, what I wasn't even, my life plan wasn't to go to college, but I'm in college.
Right.
And then I started getting these like leadership opportunities within groups there, fraternity, things like that. And I'm like, wow, this is really interesting. I can lead people, and I can have a lot of fun along the way, which was really fun. And then architecture, I'm like, I don't get to talk to a lot of people in architecture. And college is really where I came out of my shell and was
That's
like,
cool.
I'm actually fun.
That's great.
And I love people and I want to hang out with everyone. And so I talked to one of the advisors, and they're like, have you considered marketing? And, given how much, how great you're doing in school, maybe this is a better path for you. And I said, I have it, but let me do some exploration. And that was the end of it. And actually my first job, funny enough, my junior year, we toured a bunch of agencies in market.
Where'd you go to school?
UNLV in Las Vegas.
Okay.
A whole different podcast.
You just love Vegas.
Not anymore. And I went to this one agency, and I'm like, wow, this is what I want to do.
Wow.
I don't know what I want to do here.
That's amazing.
But I want to work here. And
what was it? Do you remember?
R&R Partners.
Okay.
They do all the Vegas, what happens here stays here.
Yeah. Yep.
So the Rebel Yell, the school newspaper, I saw ads because it's before the internet, honestly. And there was an ad for a role there. And I called the number, and it was not in service. I'm like, wow. So I called information 411 for those who know what that means. And I got the right number, and I called them. I was the only one that applied, got in there. And it was like a courier role.
You're like, well, probably because the number was wrong.
Exactly. But it actually was such an amazing win for me because it did change my whole trajectory. I started there, then I interned after a month and a half, 2 months from interning. They said, okay, we have and I was a brand intern, which means I worked with the brand teams, the PR teams, the media team. So I got a sense of like, I was very junior, right? So you don't really know what they're doing, but you got a sense of like the workflow and the work. And then they said 2 months into that, we have 2 roles open, one in PR, one in media. Meet with the teams and, let us know what you want to do. And I was fascinated by media. PR was actually what I was focused in when I changed majors in college. I'm like, I think this is what I want to do. But getting to know more about media back then, which was so different than it is today, like, this is interesting. And that was it.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny the way that like you just kind of fell into it? Like, obviously now we have information at our fingertips and everyone can know anything about anything at any time. But like, that was not the case before. And so you just had to like bumble your way through. You're like, I guess I'm going to work in marketing in New York City. I came to New York City from St. Louis and I was like, I guess I'll work at this marketing company. It was a catalog company. And you just bumbled your way into it.
You do. And we're all here now.
And we're all here now. Look at us now.
I think about that with like directions. How did people get around?
Printed out directions and maps.
Without directions.
And remembering things.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, the power.
The power of remembering things. I saw this article in the New York Magazine the other day that was like the stupiding of the American mind. Because we're kind of all getting a little bit stupider, So anyway, what would you tell young Dave at 22 when you were just graduating? Like, if you could give him a piece of advice.
I would tell myself to stay curious because, and I work with a lot of young folks now. Even when I was in leadership roles at agencies, you work with a lot of young folks. Great ideas. They don't know what they don't know, right? And I was very much that way when I was young. And you think you know what you know, right? But staying curious would really allow you to like learn more. And I think where I benefited too in my earlier careers, I had exposure to multiple areas. So I knew how things worked together versus like being in a paid media role or a PR role where you're siloed and that's really all you know. But the curiosity piece wasn't really a big factor for me early on.
Okay. So you've grown that muscle.
I've grown that muscle. Yeah. I think in the beginning it was work hard, prove value, expect to be recognized.
Yeah.
And that's not really how the world works.
Right. Definitely not.
Yeah.
Not anymore, especially.
Not anymore. Well, it really never did.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have any cheat codes that you would offer like younger people that are listening?
Cheat codes. I would probably say
I'll give you an example. My cheat code is that if you do something every single day, so like for me that's like posting on social media. If I post on social media every single day, like you start to flex the muscle of like whatever the thing is that you want to do. So that whether it's like, again, like posting on social media or writing or like whatever it is, like do a little bit every single day. That's my cheat code.
Interesting. I don't know if I have a cheat code then. I think always learning. I mean, it goes back to the curiosity. And whether it's like trades or it's to a degree social media to know what trends are coming up.
Yeah.
Even before they become, major cultural.
Are you on like
phenomenon.
social and like in there and digging in and
not as much as I used to be.
Okay. Are you on TikTok?
Not on TikTok.
Oh.
No.
Interesting.
I know. My partner is. But I think it's just continue learning because our world is changing so much.
Yeah.
And you can do so many different things in marketing if that is your passion or even outside of marketing, having the marketing muscle and the skill set. But you have to stay current and you have to really think about what's coming next because that's really the difference now. And we're moving so fast. Technology's shaping our industry, agencies are going through huge transformation, as we all know. And that's just going to create an entirely new dynamic and potentially new opportunities for people long term.
Yeah.
So I would say spend
hopefully.
time every day.
Learning. Well, how do you learn? Like, what do you do to...
I read trade. I read
Cool.
some of the key trades to
Yeah.
know what's going on. Well, you know, less for personal and more for professional. Although it feeds both, because I really love what I do.
Yeah.
And it motivates me. So knowing what other people are doing that I can learn from, or seeing what competitors are doing that I need to react to, it keeps me going.
Cool.
Honestly. If I were to give advice to young people,
Yeah.
and my second boss in my career told me this, and we weren't that close. And when I was told this, I took it not the way it was intended.
Yeah.
But he basically said, no one cares about your career more than you.
Right.
And there's some power in that,
Of
and
course.
knowing that, sure, your boss, your managers, your company have your best interest in mind, but it's not their only interest.
Right.
And there are so many factors to building a team, leading an organization, that you have to make sure all the puzzle pieces work together.
Yeah.
But you are in charge of your destiny.
Yeah. It's your job.
It's your job.
Yeah.
And you can't expect people to understand what you need, want, where you want to stretch, what you want to learn. And so you have to be vocal, and you have to take it into your own hands, and you can't sit back and be complacent, but you also can't be arrogant and expect what's not ready.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's funny though, because it's like, that's life advice too, you know?
It is. It really is.
Yeah. Like, you have to be in control of how you react to things, how you show up at work, how you show up in your relationships, you are in control of your own destiny, and nobody else is going to do it for you, you know?
It's fascinating, because when you think about like professional situations, some people have different selves. They have a personal self and a work self. But some people who react in personal situations bring that to the work environment too.
I actually think that's one of your cheat codes. You're the same person all the time.
Okay, there we go. I have a cheat code. I am the same in, out, anywhere around the
you
office,
are,
anywhere
like
I
at
am.
work.
What you see is what you get. I'm very open, very transparent, and I think there's a way for people to connect with you that way, because you can easily build trust, and I don't do it for that. It's just who I am.
Yeah.
But people know where you stand.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important.
I love it. I love it. It's that Enneagram 9 peacemaker in you. Thank you for coming.
Thanks
You're
for
the
having
best.
me. I miss you.
I'm glad we did this.
Me
I
too.
miss you too. I'm glad I get to see you.